Today we are going to talk about a somewhat cruel topic, but it might just help you walk out of your current struggles. Why is it that you are clearly a good person, you clearly gave everything you had, yet you end up living so humbly in a relationship? The vast majority of people are struggling in the swamp of relationships, anxious and draining themselves internally until they cannot sleep at night. But they do not know that the answer to breaking this cycle has always been in their own hands. If you understand what I am about to say today, you will find that those seemingly unsolvable dead knots in your life will collapse instantly. Please remember this sentence firmly. In all relationships, as long as you dare to say to yourself, "I do not want this anymore," the situation can be resolved. Letting go of excessive attachment often allows you to see the whole picture. I am Zen Seeker Wu, and welcome to my channel. Here, we do not talk about high and mighty empty theories. We only talk about how to use the wisdom left by our ancestors in this complicated world to gain true wealth and inner happiness. Many times we live so tiredly, not because life itself is so difficult, but because we put too many stones in our backpacks. Working hard overseas, or building a life in a foreign land, we always desire to build deep connections and desire to be recognized. These stones are those relationships you do not need at all, yet you hold onto tightly. You might have already discovered that the rules of this world are actually never complicated. What is complicated is the human heart, or more accurately, it is that most people are simply unwilling to admit the simplest truth. The reason you are repeatedly hurt and chronically drained in a relationship is not because you are not kind enough, nor is it because you have not given enough. On the contrary, it is because you are too kind, and your kindness lacks the necessary sharp edges. You always hold an unrealistic fantasy in your heart. You think that if you are just a little better, if you just endure a little more, the other person will definitely be moved and will definitely change. You mistake weakness for what Buddhism calls compassion. You mistake bottomless compromise for good manners. You mistake swallowing your broken teeth and blood for the maturity an adult should have, my friend. This is not maturity at all. This is a deep form of self-hypnosis. You have not understood the most basic fact of human interaction. Life is like a complex game of chess, only when your mind is as still as water, not missing a single piece. Do you have the qualification to break the game? What does it mean to not miss a single piece? It means your mind no longer moves blindly. Your emotions are no longer led by every move of the other person. Once you have the thought in a relationship that you absolutely must keep the other person, once you feel you cannot live without this person, or you have already lost the initiative in your energy field. You are already standing in an extremely passive position. This is like at a negotiation table. The person who wants to make the deal the most, who is most afraid of losing the opportunity, is often the easiest to fall into a passive position because you have already shown your bottom cards to the other person. Your bottom card is, "I need you far more than you need me." Hearing this, you can stop and think quietly. At this very moment, the face of a certain person or a certain suffocating relationship must have appeared in your mind. If so, it means this content is prepared specifically for you. Before we go deeper, if you feel these words have touched your pain points, or if you hope to continue receiving this clear wisdom in the future, please take a second to subscribe to my channel and like. Your every interaction is the greatest support for me. Please also leave your current confusion in the comments. Write down the sentence, "I am willing to let go of attachment and find myself again." Let us gather in this small space to form an energy field of mutual support. The psychologist Adler once said a very classic sentence. He said that almost all human troubles stem from interpersonal relationships. I deeply agree with this, but I want to add one more point. What troubles you is not how complicated the matter itself is. It is that you always shine the spotlight of your attention firmly on other people. You can carefully recall how much precious time you spend every day trying to figure out other people. The boss looked at me a bit strangely today. Did I write that report wrong yesterday? My partner replied to my message half an hour slower than usual. Does he not care about me anymore? My old friends from many years ago did not invite me to their gathering. Do they have a problem with me behind my back? You are obsessed with trying to change people who fundamentally cannot be changed by you. You are anxious about trying to manipulate the direction of relationships that you fundamentally cannot manipulate. Yet you turn a blind eye to the life that you can truly control. To put it more bluntly, even if it sounds a bit harsh, you desperately worry about the attitudes of other people toward you, yet you do not care at all about your own precious destiny. This is putting the cart before the horse completely. You waste a massive amount of energy guessing what others think, pleasing others, explaining yourself to others, and making bottomless compromises. You are like a tireless detective, trying to find the value of your existence from the micro-expressions and fragmented words of others. But you forget that in this world, the only person you need to be responsible for, and the only person you can be responsible for, is yourself. In any relationship, whether it is romantic love, friendships over drinks, or the deep bonds of family, as long as you do not hold your bottom line, as long as you do not dare to say the words, "I do not want this," you are destined to be firmly trapped by this relationship. Please note, I am saying the words, "I do not want this," and they carry tremendous weight. Human nature has always been like this. Although those of us who practice spirituality do not like to think too badly of human nature, we must learn to respect objective reality. The reality is, the more you treat someone well without reservation, the more they will feel that all of this is taken for granted. This is what economics often calls the law of diminishing marginal utility. The first piece of candy you give is incredibly sweet. When they reach out to you every day and you give the 100th piece, they feel this is a task you must complete. If one day you are tired and you stop giving, not only will they not be grateful for your past efforts, they will actually harbor resentment and feel that you betrayed them. The more you compromise, because you lack clear boundaries, the more they will constantly test your bottom line, just like an ignorant child testing the temper of their parents. If you choose to give in every single time, the other person will take a mile when given an inch, pressing you step by step. The more you expect them to give you an equal return, the more complete the disappointment they will give you. This is not because you have a bad destiny, nor is it because you have bad luck. It is because you stood in the wrong position from the very beginning. Once you generate a delusion in your heart, thinking that if I just give a little more, they will eventually understand my feelings, you have already lost this game of chess. Many people get badly bruised in relationships. They do not lose because they did not try hard enough. They lose because they had the delusion of trying to change another person. You can imagine this. You find it so difficult to even change your own habit of staying up late. Why do you think that with a few words of care and a few forced compromises, you can change the deep-rooted personality and values of an adult? You hand over the initiative of your life. You put all your chips on a person who is fundamentally unwilling to understand you and has no intention of being responsible for you. Losing everything is the inevitable ending. This is like taking the savings you worked hard for half your life and walking into a casino. You hand the money to a complete stranger to place bets for you. Then you stand on the side, clasping your hands, bitterly praying that they will win. This is not called deep affection. This is called foolishness. In this world, no one is worth you using your precious life energy to please them. This sentence might sound very cold, but in the wisdom of Buddhism, this is the greatest compassion toward yourself. When a connection is exhausted, let it scatter. When a relationship fades, calmly accept its fading. You must understand that nothing in this world is more important than living a relaxed and clear life yourself. I often say that happiness is an active choice. It is also a skill that needs to be cultivated. And the core of this skill is detachment. Detaching from the people and things that drain your energy in all relationships. As long as you dare to say, "I do not want this anymore," this dead knot is instantly untied. What truly traps you is never other people. It is your own attachment that refuses to let go. The reason we always feel pain in life is largely because we love to pick up bricks from the ruins of our memories. In reality, I have seen too many heartbreaking examples. Many people are clearly in a broken relationship full of holes, yet they grit their teeth and refuse to let go. For example, in a romantic relationship, the heart of your partner has long been away from you, and they might even have shown very obvious behaviors of betrayal. You wash your face with tears every day. yet you still constantly reflect on yourself and comfort yourself late at night. You ask yourself if you have been too busy lately and neglected them. You ask if you did something wrong. You even lie to yourself that you are just overthinking everything. In friendships, those so-called friends around you usually do not care about you at all. Every time they look for you, it is either to borrow money or to use you as an emotional trash can. When you truly encounter difficulties and need help, they run faster than anyone else. You clearly feel very disappointed in your heart, yet you still force a smile and make excuses for them. You say they just have a straightforward personality, but they are actually good people in the workplace. Your boss constantly makes empty promises to you. The promised bonus is always pushed to the next quarter. The promised promotion is always scheduled for next year. He recklessly consumes your youth and squeezes your labor. You are as tired as a spinning top every day, yet you still fantasize in your heart. You think that if I just endure a little longer, maybe it will be my turn to shine soon, and if I quit now, all my previous hard work will be wasted. Even in family relationships, facing the constant emotional blackmail of certain relatives, they use the grace of raising you or blood ties to bind themselves tightly to you. They constantly squeeze your money and energy. You are so in pain that you can barely breathe, yet you never dare to open your mouth and say the word no. You think you are valuing relationships and loyalty. You think this is your unavoidable sense of responsibility. But in the eyes of others, all your efforts are nothing but expected free services. You are like an ATM that does not need a password, an emotional trash can that will never complain. There is a very famous term in psychology called the sunk cost effect. I believe this is one of the biggest psychological obstacles preventing modern people from attaining happiness. This is exactly the same as what Buddhism calls attachment. In a relationship, the more time, money, and emotion you invest, the more unwilling you are to let go. The longer the years you have given, the more you want to prove that your initial choice was not wrong, so you constantly double down and constantly wrong yourself. This is not at all because this relationship is so beautiful and worth cherishing. It is because your proud self-esteem cannot bear the cruel fact that all your previous efforts have gone down the drain. This is like buying a stock that keeps falling. Your reason is clearly warning you frantically that you should immediately cut your losses. But emotionally, you simply cannot accept the frustration of this loss. So not only do you not sell, but you continue to throw money into it to buy more, stubbornly, hoping that one day it will hit bottom and bounce back. The result is often that you get trapped even deeper and finally lose everything. Please make sure to remember one sentence from me. A person who truly loves you and cares about you will never need you to live so exhaustingly. They will not make you tremble with fear every day, trying to guess their thoughts. They will not make you repeatedly doubt yourself late at night, and they certainly will not make you cautiously try to prove your own value. True love is respecting and caring for you as an independent and precious life, not forcing you to be mature and compromise early on. If you are in a relationship and you start to worry about gains and losses, become sensitive and suspicious, or even start to suppress your truest self, feeling that even breathing is a mistake, then it means this relationship has long lost its healthy balance. It is not at all that you are not good enough. What is wrong is that the relationship itself cannot support your goodness. We must learn to examine our lives from a third-person perspective. You can imagine this. If your good friend was in this painful situation you are in now, how would you advise them? You would definitely hold their hand with heartache and advise them to leave this fire pit immediately. Then why is it that when the same thing happens to you, you lose that clarity and decisiveness? In any relationship, as long as you do not actively sit in the car of someone else heading toward the abyss, others cannot truly hurt you. But unfortunately, most people, hindered by those sunk costs, still hold on desperately even when they know the direction is wrong. The most taboo thing in life is this gambler mentality. This terrible mentality is actually hidden in most of our life decisions. You bet that one day he will turn around. You bet that he will change after experiencing setbacks. You bet that one day he will suddenly find his conscience. But the cruel reality is that these expectations often backfire. People with true great wisdom cut off the road to the casino from the very beginning. What does it mean to cut off the road to the casino? It means I simply do not give you the chance to continue hurting me. When I say I do not want this anymore, it is absolutely not just me backing down. It is my greatest fulfillment and respect for my own life. Some people might say, is it too negative to teach people to give up like this? Is it teaching people to escape reality? Actually, it is the exact opposite. If the heart does not move, what can the wind do to me? If you do not hurt yourself, the years will leave you unharmed. Being able to calmly say, I do not want this anymore, is never the helpless posture of a weak person. It is the clear choice of a person who has truly seen through the arising and ceasing of conditions in this world. Only the strong with a powerful inner self dare to say no, while the weak are forced to accept everything arranged by others. People who truly live with clarity know what things they should want, and what things they absolutely must not touch. They know how to make choices in a complicated world, rather than swallowing everything whole without a bottom line. They extremely cherish their own life energy. Energy is your spirit while living in this world. It is your life force. If a relationship violently consumes your energy every day, making you feel tired, anxious, and self-doubting, instead of nourishing your energy and making you feel peaceful, joyful, and full of strength, then this relationship is a chronic poison to you. A wise person will absolutely not waste precious energy on terrible people and terrible things, and they certainly will not engage in meaningless self-moving acts in a broken relationship. When you truly begin to say in your heart, I do not want this anymore, your life will welcome a true awakening. You will suddenly find that the originally oppressive air has become fresh. The time that was originally not enough has multiplied. Even the person in the mirror looks more relaxed and lovely. And there is a very paradoxical psychological phenomenon here. The more decisive you act, and the more you dare to defend your bottom line, the more others will actually respect you. The more you act like a soft persimmon and gladly retreat, the easier it is for others to ruthlessly erode and trample on you. Saying I do not want this anymore signifies an extremely high spiritual state. You do not explain, you do not entangle yourself, and you no longer hold any unrealistic expectations. You do not explain to the people who leave why you let go, because people who truly understand you do not need you to waste your breath explaining. And those who do not understand you, or even deliberately misinterpret you, do not deserve to hear your explanation at all. You also no longer struggle with the terrible things of the past, because the things of the past are completely dead in the long river of time. You must admit a cruel reality. The essence of human nature is to seek advantage and avoid harm. Most people are unwilling to get close to a weak person radiating negative energy. They are afraid of being dragged down by your miserable emotions. Some people will even step on you to confirm their own hypocritical sense of superiority. We often say, why do some people give their all, but end up with nothing? It is not because they are not sincere enough, nor is it because they do not love deeply enough. It is because they have lived themselves into a weak person with no boundaries, no principles, and no dignity. Subconsciously, through their humble behaviors, they constantly send a dangerous signal to the other person. That signal is, I am worthless. You can treat me however you want. I cannot leave you anyway. In friendships, if you are always afraid of offending people and agree with whatever others say, you are destined to be ignored by everyone. The more you want to please everyone, the more no one will take you seriously. In the workplace, if you are always timid and afraid of trouble, not daring to refuse unreasonable requests, you will be firmly controlled by others. The more you do not dare to fight for your own interests, the more the dirty and tiring work will be piled on your head without any suspense. In romantic love, if you show excessive partiality to someone, tolerating all their flaws and mistakes without a bottom line, what you ultimately get in return will inevitably be their coldness and contempt. There is a saying that is very harsh, but extremely true. When you start treating this world with sharp edges, the world will actually show its gentle and polite side to you. The sharp edges here absolutely do not mean you should maliciously hurt others. It does not mean you should be an unreasonable villain. It means you must grow teeth to protect yourself. It means your kindness must carry an inviolable majesty. It is a zero tolerance for terrible people and terrible things. It is a decisive cutting off of relationships that should have ended long ago, rather than letting them make your life dirty, messy, and terrible. A person who truly masters the initiative in life definitely knows how to keep a comfortable and safe distance in any relationship. Many people are like this, insisting on loving until it hurts to the core before they are willing to let go, insisting on being consumed until their oil is dry and their lamp goes out before they are willing to wake up. But the truth in relationships has always been this: whoever can pull themselves out in their heart first wins their own life. Why do we say that whoever pulls out first wins? Because the moment you decide to pull out in your heart, you completely cut off the pipeline the other person uses to control you. You no longer provide emotional value for them. You are no longer happy or sad because of a single sentence from them. You also no longer provide any practical benefits for them. The other person instantly loses the leverage to control you. There is a saying on the internet that is very good. Your most powerful moment in a relationship is absolutely not when you love the most passionately and give the most. It is the moment you dare to calmly turn around and walk away. At that moment, your retreating figure is the most graceful, and your energy field is the strongest. There is also a rule in psychology: whoever cares more about the feelings of the other person will fall into a passive situation. Whoever invests more in a relationship will lose their sense of control over life. In game theory, this is called the principle of least interest. Whoever shows the most indifference to the continuation of this relationship holds the greatest say in it. If you cannot wait for the other person to reply to your message, then simply turn around and do your own things. Do not ever send some long essay questioning them why. Your questions full of grievance and anger are nothing but a pitiful joke in the eyes of the other person who is full of superiority. If you cannot wait for a sincere apology from a friend, then calmly leave that circle. Do not think about how it is a pity to lose the affection of so many years. You must know that those so-called fake affections are often extremely fragile in the face of real interests and human selfishness. If you cannot get understanding and love from your family, then learn to love yourself well. Do not foolishly wait until you have accumulated enough disappointment before you are willing to leave. Do not wait until your body and spirit are completely drained before you are willing to wake up. Life is absolutely not a cruel game where you have to bet to the very end. Noticing the wrong direction and being able to stop losses in time is the behavior of a true master. Truly powerful people can always maintain clarity in the heavy fog of relationships. They know when to let go at the right time and elegantly turn and leave. This indeed requires great courage, and it also requires extremely high life wisdom. But this is exactly what we need to cultivate. A psychologist once said a sentence: true freedom is never successfully controlling others, but completely liberating yourself from the illusion that you must be controlled by others, or that you must control others. The mood of this sentence is very profound. We can slowly deconstruct it. The so-called desire for control that many people have in relationships actually fundamentally stems from extreme inner insecurity. You try to control the whereabouts of your partner, try to arrange the future of your children, and try to influence how your friends judge you. But this in itself is an extremely absurd illusion. You cannot even control what strange thought your own brain will produce in the next second. So why do you feel you have the ability to control a living person with independent thoughts? Being in a maze is actually not scary. What is scary is that you stubbornly hold on to your views and refuse to wake up. The essence of this world is actually entirely a projection of your own inner self. It has nothing to do with whether you can successfully please others. In this long game of the human world, the best players are not those kings with massive wealth, nor those big shots who can summon the wind and rain. They are the ones who dare to look at a terrible situation and calmly say, "I am not playing anymore. I am not playing anymore, so what can you do to me?" When you truly possess this courage to flip the chessboard, you have truly attained freedom of the soul. No complex relationship can trap you anymore, because you understand that what truly traps you is never other people. It is only your own deep attachment to this relationship. When you regain your own subjectivity, no longer drain yourself internally, no longer force outcomes, and no longer stubbornly cling to illusions, your life will welcome its true beginning. Please make sure to remember this in your heart. All relationships are merely a choice on your life journey. They are absolutely not your inescapable destiny. It is just like buttoning a shirt when you get dressed. If you button the first button wrong, you just need to calmly unbutton it and rebutton it correctly. If this shirt really does not fit and it chokes you so much you cannot breathe, then simply take it off and change into a loose and comfortable one. As long as your own mind is clear first, the whole world will naturally make a path for you. If you are currently trapped in the internal drain of some relationship, choked by inner attachment until you cannot breathe, feeling that every day is dark and hopeless, I sincerely suggest you deeply understand the concept of decluttering your life. Please do not think it is just teaching you how to organize old clothes in your room. That understanding is far too shallow. It actually talks about a complete set of underlying logic for cleaning up interpersonal relationships and purifying the soul. Cutting off means decisively cutting off those social connections you do not need at all. For example, those fair-weather friends who only consume your time and energy, or those group chats that only bring you negative energy and anxiety every day. Resolutely cut these out of your life. Throwing away means bravely throwing away those relationships that are severely dragging you down. For example, an empty shell of a marriage that has long lost its affection, yet is still bitterly maintained for the sake of so-called face, or those partners who always make you feel suppressed and constantly scheme against you. Resolutely throw away these heavy burdens. Detaching means completely detaching from your psychological attachment to terrible relationships. This is the hardest step in the whole process, but it is also the most crucial one. You need to truly admit psychologically, I do not need him at all. Without him, I can still live a vibrant and passionate life. Only when you learn to cut your losses in time with those invalid relationships can you completely pull yourself out of a tangled mess of relationship entanglements. Only then can you live as light as a breeze, as clear as a pool of water, full of inner strength. When you decisively clear those terrible people and terrible things out of your life space, you free up precious room to accept those who are truly good to you, and to welcome those beautiful opportunities that truly belong to you. When your inner energy field becomes pure and strong, the people and things you attract will naturally become beautiful too. This is the core point I want to share with you the most today. Never be afraid of losing. In this vast world, apart from this body of yours and your soul, nothing truly belongs to you. Since they did not belong to you in the first place, how can we talk about losing them? You are just letting the wrong people return to the position where they were supposed to be, which is outside of your life. You are just letting the water flow naturally, and letting the fallen leaves return to their roots naturally. Speaking of this, I want to ask everyone, in your life, what relationships have you encountered that made you feel particularly drained and particularly painful? Is it that boss who always likes to suppress and deny you? Or is it that partner who is always like a child that never grows up, needing you to constantly worry about them? Or perhaps it is those relatives who always try to control your entire life under the banner of doing it for your own good. Can the philosophical viewpoint we talked about today, about saying I do not want this anymore and stopping losses in time, help you untie the knot in your heart? Please do not just keep these realizations in your head and forget them after listening. You must bring them into your real life and practice them. Maybe today is the best day for you to block that terrible person who has been consuming you. Maybe today is the best time for you to calmly say the word no to that unreasonable request. You are welcome to tell me your story in the comments, or leave a sentence of your determination. I will read every comment seriously and feel your energy. If you feel that today's content has inspired you, even if just one short sentence touched the softest part deep in your heart, please do not hold back your likes and subscriptions. Please also share this video with your friends who are suffering and silently crying in complex relationships. This one small share from you might just be the crucial key that pulls them out of the abyss. This world, you are the only absolute protagonist in your own life. All other people, no matter how important they seem right now, are just supporting actors here to cooperate with your performance. When they finish acting, they will exit the stage, and you must continue to walk toward your own brilliance. This is Zen Seeker Wu. I wish you an early escape from internal drain, and a clear and free life. I will see you next time.